Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So there's currently a ultimate Frisbee competition going on at the moment in Spain. This is an international competition and it appears that Team USA has a male player. The USA got knocked out at the semi-finals, so they're now playing for third place, I believe, kind of like England in the World Cup. And this is a women's ultimate team. A women's team. It appears that Team USA has a male player. And this is where we're at now. It's so disheartening hearing stories like this because it just goes to show that it's very much still going on. And this is Team USA we're talking about, where we have an executive order banning males from competing in women's sports. But of course, there are certain sporting bodies in states that still allow it. Ultimate does have mixed categories, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a female category where girls sign up to play, sign up to compete, believing they're competing, in a women's category, believing that they're going to be competing against females. So it is the ultimate deception. So this has been reported by hecheated.org. I've used this wonderful resource on this channel before, and they do great research. They really do. This is how they determine the male athletes that they highlight on their page. So athlete verification. This is how they determine that, a team has a male player or we have a male player competing in a women's category. All athletes are verified as male before they are included on the website. Verification is made through the use of public sources. Often more than one source is used. If an athlete is openly known to be male, links are provided on the athlete's list. More personal proof, such as from a social media account, will be listed as sparingly as possible. And you're allowed to contact them, for them to provide proof that this person is indeed male. So hecheated.org, they use public declarations where the athlete is openly transgender, speaking about, I should be allowed to compete, blah, 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 all of this. They use official records, job history, school records, and family records that reflect name changes. A lot of these male athletes who have been groomed from an early age, they have their birth certificate changed. There's still a number of states where they allow birth certificates to be changed. So there will be a record of that. And then DSD protocols. Athletes with DSDs are included if there is public record that they have previously failed a sex gender test. So this is how hecheated.org has verified the following. Team USA has been using a male athlete on the women's under-20 team at the 2026 World Junior Ultimate Championships in Logroño, Spain. Nora, Luloff, has been a key player for Team USA and has been described as the best women's player in the country. While the USA women's team lost their semi-final matchup against Italy, they will play tomorrow in the consolation rounds of the tournament. Team USA is competing in the Ultimate Championships in Spain with a male player in the women's category. And when you read reports about this person's performance as an athlete, it's obvious that this person's performance stands out. Luloff won the Breakout Athlete of the Year just last year. And one writer wrote, Luloff took the field by storm, playing at a skill level usually reserved for people much older than her, in a way that can only be described as holy cow. Our Breakout Player of the Year may be the hardest to define award that we dole out each year. We aim to recognize players typically 25 years old or younger who weren't widely expected to have a major impact on the club season at the start of the year. And for the Breakout Athlete of the Year award, this writer goes on to say, I mean, how can anybody guess you're going to break out before you've so much as broken in? The Riot rookie, who, as I don't think I'm allowed to go any further without mentioning, is a high school senior literally this instant at time of writing, entered elite women's division club play like a blinding light. It was clear from the showcase she put on at Pro Champs, plying her trade as a force of nature cutter, that Luloff is a special player. Her athleticism matched favourably against many of the division's long-established best. When somebody is male, they are going to stand out from the female athletes, even if they've been put on puberty blockers. So Luloff, who appears to have begun pretending to be a girl around the age of 5 or 6, has been quietly competing in girls' ultimate competitions for years at Garfield High School. This person also runs the school newspaper and has spoken about the UK Supreme Court ruling, for example, transgender rights. Garfield has qualified for and competed at the high school national invite the past 4 years, with Luloff on the roster, placing 7th this year behind 2 other teams with male athletes. So in 2025, they tied for 3rd place with El Cerrito, a team with 2 boys on the roster, and finished behind the 2nd place South Eugene team, another girls team using a male player. So this is just, in these states that allow boys to compete in the girls category, they are taking over girls sports. There's no doubt about it. One male player disenfranchises multiple girls. We've seen girls being disenfranchised in the thousands due to one player. So this is a takeover of girls' sports in states like Washington that allow it. It's very, very concerning indeed. This individual is one of many. USA Ultimate allows male athletes on the girls' national team, but requires them to submit proof of adherence to testosterone regulations per WFDF, the governing World Organization rules. And we don't know whether this particular athlete, Luloff, has been complying with any of that. Because again, we've seen so many examples of boys who have been put on puberty blockers, going into women's sports, competing against girls, and being taken to be female. They have birth certificates that say they are female. A lot of these school districts, a lot of these sporting bodies are okay with that. That's enough for them. That's why the IOC's new sex testing regulations are so important. We cannot rely on birth certificates. The IOC has urged all national and international bodies to comply with their updated rules in providing a true women's division of sport for female athletes. But Ultimate continues to refuse providing an open division where only talented men play, a mixed division where both men and women play, but men occasionally take women's roster spots as well, and the women's division where men also play. So where does that leave the female athletes? Having to compete against men. It's as simple as that. While puberty blocking and hormones may disguise a male's appearance, they do nothing to disguise his male advantage. And Luloff is no exception, as he has notably outperformed his female teammates and opponents. So Luloff placed 2nd with the Seattle Riot women's club team at the USAU Pro Championships as a high schooler. This is when Luloff was named Breakout Player of the Year. Luloff also competes alongside another male athlete on a women's team, Leah Shepler, and took part in the Seven Hills GX team that won the 2025 US Open Youth Club Championships in the under-20 division. Luloff is repeatedly praised for his outstanding performances, with Ultimate Media going so far as to call him the best in the nation, meaning the best female athlete in the nation, the best girl in the nation, when this person is in fact male. Not only is he a member of the women's under-20 team, Luloff was named a team captain as well. And then we have Noah Fong, who also competed in the World Junior Ultimate Championships for Team USA. But Noah Fong is competing in the mixed division. So we don't know whether Fong is competing as a female athlete in the mixed division. But earlier this year, he participated on the Colorado women's collegiate team, Quandary, helping them to a 5th place finish at the Division I National Championships, after which he was named the 2nd runner-up for Women's Division I Rookie of the Year. So, I mean, this person probably is competing as a female athlete in the mixed division. I mean, we get women being disenfranchised in female categories, but also in mixed categories. Imagine that. This is just ridiculous.
You know, all of the instances that we hear about, it's like 1 or 2 kids or 1 kid, or, you know, there's less than 10 athletes, as Charlie Baker was saying, out of 510,000. And it's being, you know, propositioned to people, whether it's in, you know, political campaigns or just general hate speech, that, you know, they're taking over women's sports and we have to protect women from women's sports. I mean, I've always just thought that that was very laughable.
So you cannot tell me that male athletes are not taking over female categories in certain sports. You cannot tell me that. They are. This is happening. It is running rampant in the ultimate competitions. This is ridiculous. And how far are we going to take it? They don't disclose that they're male, especially if they've been put on puberty blockers. We've had grown men doing this as well, as we've seen in the US Masters swimming. So even grown men can get away with it. They don't necessarily have had to have gone through all of that. But no amount of medications, no amount of drugs is going to change the fact that they're male. And when they compete, they do stand out from the female athletes because they are competing in a male body. You know, these boys are being told by the adults that they're actually girls. If they mention anything about wanting to be a girl or relating to being a girl in any way, the adults go along with it and put them on drugs. This is insane. And then when it comes to middle school, high school, they're competing on a girls' team. They're changing in the girls' locker room. I mean, how far does it go? I mean, when it comes to dating in the future, do they not disclose that they're male? They're trying to get rid of biological reality in everyday life, which is very, very disturbing indeed. It's bad enough that they're trying to get rid of it in sports. But this goes beyond sports. They're trying to make biology insignificant now. And then they accuse people who acknowledge biology of being bigots. They use the term outing. No, there's no outing when it comes to biological sex. It is who you are. You are either male or female. Yes, deception is prevalent, but deception should not be turned into the norm. Deception should not be elevated and treated as a good thing. It is wrong to deceive others and conceal the fact that you were born male. Girls who change in a locker room with these males, they are not given the opportunity to consent and simply say, no, I do not consent to this. Girls who are on the court, on the field, competing against these males, they are not given the opportunity to consent and say, no, I do not want to risk my safety by competing against boys or competing with boys on my team. I do not want my sports compromised by male athletes pretending to be girls. This is ridiculous. And this is Team USA. How does Team Italy feel about this? How does Team Spain feel about this? Boys and men continue to dominate and control women's ultimate at all levels of competition, where they are severely overrepresented on the winner's podium and in the awards circles. If Fong is on the roster as a female matching player, then that means 2 female athletes were denied the opportunity to participate on the national team in international competition, while males were given more. Rules that allow athletes to participate on teams of the opposite sex only benefit male athletes and only serve to deprive female athletes of fairness and opportunity. And last year at the Under-20 Girls Youth National Championship final game, 3 male athletes dominated the field and girls were just there to make them feel talented. Well, what is happening is we're disenfranchising the girls. We're excluding the girls. There is no justification for that. Puberty blockers are not a justification for that. Identity is not a justification for that. At the real Donald Trump, the USA is cheating. You look like losers and cheaters. Your women can't beat women without cheating. So there is no longer a women's team. There is the men's and mixed team. Sad for women. I've been playing Ultimate for years. The acknowledgement that men have a competitive advantage over women is literally hardwired into the sport. In a co-ed league, there's a rule that each team has to have the same number of males to females on the field. Even in mixed competitions, the male advantage is acknowledged. A team with more women is going to be at a disadvantage, quite frankly, especially in a competition that involves throwing, upper body strength. It's no contest. This is not even up for debate. HeCheated.org once again has done a wonderful job highlighting that this is very much still an issue. It's really concerning, and I just can't believe that this is Team USA. Well, I can, because Ultimate allows it. Their policy says so. They are ignoring the IOC. How far is this allowed to go? It can't go to Olympic level, at least. A simple cheek swab should be required of all athletes wanting to compete in the female category, because it is women's sports that is under threat. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video. And a huge thanks to all of those who have hyped my videos. It is greatly appreciated.